Last time I was this worried about lasting 5 minutes, there were fewer people in the room. The last 4 years have been pretty wild, I think we can probably all agree. And just like anyone else, I've been through my fair share of stuff. Therapy, mostly. Sadly, she can't be here tonight because I'm not paying her. But it has been very useful for a few things, not least of which is that I found out that I'm actually way more queer than I ever thought possible. I know. Surprise. Catholic denial's really good from keeping that stuff from sprouting. They should sell it as weed killer. So this gave me a bit of a second go at life, you know, more true to my real self, and I thought, I need to meet some new people, meet the community that I'm now part of. So I went speed dating, because I'm 37 years old, I'm literally in the prime of my life, and had a great time, met some lovely people, but I did encounter one or two outliers. So, for one, it's a queer event, so everyone gets up and moves. It's like this really weird game of fuck, fuck, goose. And anyway, the bell goes, I sit down with this guy, and his opener now, is to lean in, put his hand on my knee, and staring me directly in the eyes, just ask me, have you ever had an instant erection? Now, I thought, this guy's clearly come as himself tonight, so that's good. And bear in mind, we haven't even swapped names by this point. Now, I'm all for equality, right? Because I need it now. But when this is what you're dealing with, I do think some queer voices should be silenced, really, honestly. And in a move surprising absolutely nobody, what happened was that I ignored the main thrust of the question and got completely sidetracked on the unimportant details. I thought, instant? What do you mean instant? Dude, I'm in my late 30s. It's way more of a slow cooker situation than a pot noodle, my friend. Like. So anyway, back in the room, this guy's clearly thinking he's been waiting too long for an answer. So he takes his hand off my knee, sits back in his chair, and he says, I think this conversation is over. And I'm thinking, yeah, I 100% agree with you, my friend. That's probably the first time you've read the room right tonight. So I've been trying to work on my self-confidence, can you tell? And I thought, what better way to really push myself out of my comfort zone, really get to the nub of it, than to take all my clothes off in front of strangers. That's not what's happening here, I should make that very clear. Right? Woo, put it on. And so I thought, right, let's give it a go. I tried life modeling, and I will be honest, it is a little upsetting when you see a good chunk of the room turn the paper to landscape. And not for the reasons you would hope. But I thought, right, I'm here, I'm just gonna press forward, I'm gonna just stare at a point in the other corner of the room and not move. And that works kind of sort of okay for a few minutes, until you start thinking things like, when did I last blink? Other pressing concerns like that. I was actually slightly worried about the risk of because I only had half an hour. So I did blink in the end, and what I realized was that I had the words push bar to open kind of burned into my retinas. And I don't know about you, but it is a little bit difficult to feel any kind of bodily bliss when you, when you basically feel like you're hallucinating a fire exit, and it really kind of brings you out of it. So I thought, I'll try and get into some better shape because my current shape is a maple syrup bottle. So I had an introductory session with a Pilates teacher, and she's got me down on all fours, kind of doing various bits and bobs. And just out of nowhere, just for reasons that I can't fathom, she decides to make a comment and just goes, "You've got very pliant hips." Now, I thought she'd said compliant. And I'm like, yeah, they generally do what I tell them to. They're not looking to overthrow me anytime soon. They can barely hold me as it is. And she's like, no, lovey, no, I'm just saying that you're quite bendy. I'm like, well, just say that then, you hippie weirdo. Like, I am in a position to receive quite a few things like this, just not ambiguous feedback about my grab handles, you know? So I think, of all the things I've learned, the one thing that I've really learned, because I am thick as mince, is that when you do push yourself out of your comfort zone, there is always that risk that you'll end up in someone else's. Now, I'm just being told my pot noodle is done, so I'll love you and leave you. You've been great. I've been B+ at best. Have a great night. Enjoy the show.